Welcome to my this fifth lecture, second chapter of Science Class 10th. In this class, I shall discuss four subtopics. Number one, what salts are. Number two, family of salts. Number three, chemicals formed from table salt or NaCl. And number four, are salts that look dry actually dry. I start with first subtopic, means what salts are. We learned that base and acid react with each other to form salt and water. It means salts are compounds made of two parts called radicals. One radical is from the base, hence called basic radical, and another radical comes from the acid, hence called acid radical. For example, sodium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to produce sodium chloride plus H2O. Here, sodium chloride is a salt. The reaction can be written as NaOH plus HCl produce NaCl plus H2O. In NaCl, Na comes from NaOH, which is a base. Therefore, Na is basic radical. While Cl comes from HCl acid, hence acid radical. Or we can say that radical written first in a salt is basic radical and second radical is acid radical. Remember that in a chemical formula, electron donor or cation or positive ion is written first and then anion or electron acceptor. For example, in NaCl, Na forms cation, that means Na positive, that's why it is written first, and Cl forms anion, means because that accepts electrons and forms negative ion, written later. So NaCl is the correct way of writing the formula and not ClNa. Salts can be formed by reactions of number one, strong acid and strong base reactions. Such salts are neutral. For example, NaCl, Na2SO4. Second, strong acid may react with a weak base. Such salts formed are acidic in character. And number three, reaction of weak acids and strong bases result in basic salts. And reaction of weak acid and weak base result in neutral salts. Next subtopic number 2 is family of salts. The salts having common acid radical or basic radical form the same family. For example, NaCl, Na2CO3, Na2SO4 are of same family because all of them have Na common. Similarly, if the acid radical is common, then also all those salts belong to the same family. For example, all the chlorides form the same family and all the sulfates or the carbonates. Next subtopic number 3. What chemicals are formed from common salt or NaCl? We can prepare a number of chemicals from sodium chloride. Here we are discussing about 4 compounds. Number 1, that is sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is a strong base which is prepared from NaCl by electrolysis of brine. Brine is aqueous solution of NaCl or sodium chloride. The process is called chloralkali process. because in this reaction chlorine and alkali are produced. The reaction is NaCl plus H2O. On electrolysis produce NaOH plus Cl2 plus H2. Next compound is bleaching powder. The chlorine gas formed in chloralkali process is passed through dry calcium hydroxide. The reaction can be written as CaOH whole twice plus Cl2 produce CaOCl2 plus H2. CaOCl2 is bleaching powder. It is an oxidizing agent. It is used in bleaching in textile industry and for disinfecting water too. Next is baking soda. Baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate. It is prepared by passing carbon dioxide and ammonia gases through brine. As I told you that brine is the aqueous solution of sodium chloride. The reaction is NaCl plus H2O plus CO2 plus NH3 produce NH4Cl, which is called ammonium chloride, plus NaHCO3. This is sodium hydrogen carbonate or baking soda. Sodium hydrogen carbonate or baking soda is used in cooking to make food items spongy and soft. Because on heating, it decomposes to give out carbon dioxide. This decomposition reaction is expressed as 2NaHCO3 on heating produce Na2CO3 plus H2O plus CO2. Because on heating it produces carbon dioxide, it is also used in fire extinguishers. Next compound that is prepared from NaCl is washing soda or hydrated sodium carbonate. First, baking soda is prepared from aqueous solution of NaCl or brine by passing through CO2 and NH3 as I just told you. After that, NaHCO3 so obtained is first heated to get Na2CO3, then it is crystallized. The reaction is Na2CO3 plus 10H2O produce Na2CO3.10H2O. The uses of washing soda are: number one, it is used to soften permanent hard water. Second, it is used as cleaning agent. And third, it is used in soap, paper and glass industries. And fourth, it is used in manufacturing of sodium compounds. Our next subtopic number 4 is: are all dry looking salts actually dry? Let us find it out. I heat these dry looking copper sulfate crystals in this test tube. You can see water droplets on this test tube's upper part condense, and water comes out from the tube on this watch glass. See what happens with the color of the copper sulfate. It has become white. I cool it down and add water to this white copper sulfate. It turns back blue. Such water containing salts are called hydrated salts. Formula of hydrated copper sulfate is CuSO4.5H2O. It means every one formula unit of copper sulfate has 5 water molecules attached with it. This water is called water of crystallization. Gypsum is a compound having formula unit as CaSO4.2H2O. On heating gypsum at 100 degrees Celsius or 373 Kelvin, we get calcium sulfate hemihydrate, formula of which is CaSO4.half H2O. It means one water molecule combines with two formula units of calcium sulfate. This hemihydrate is called plaster of Paris, and in abbreviation we call it POP. On adding water to it, it converts to hard solid quickly. The reaction is 2 CaSO4.half H2O plus 3H2O produce 2 CaSO4.2H2O. That is why it is used by doctors to fix broken bones. It is also used in finishing walls and ceilings. In today's lecture, we learned number 1, salts are the compounds formed in neutralization reactions or acid-base reactions. Next, at number 2, we learned that the salts that have either acid radical or basic radical common are of same family. Number 3, we learned how to prepare 4 chemicals from tables salt or NaCl. These chemicals are NaOH or sodium hydroxide, CaOCl2 or bleaching powder, NaHCO3 or sodium hydrogen carbonate, and number 4, Na2CO3 10H2O or washing soda. We also learned uses of these compounds. Next, at number 4, we learned that some dry looking salts like copper sulfate, gypsum and plaster of Paris contain water. Their formulae are CuSO4 5H2O, CaSO4 2H2O and CaSO4 half H2O respectively. That's it, my 5th lecture. In last lecture of this chapter, lecture number 6, I shall summarize the whole chapter.